car vlog. All right, in this vlog, I want to remind you guys of something I've been talking about throughout many of my vlogs over the last year, well, at least some of them. If you want to become a master programmer, a master developer, actually, if you want to master anything, business, software development, whatever, work on your basics. The mastery of the basics means the mastery of the craft. I learned this principle initially in martial arts. Once again, martial arts. One of my best instructors, and I had many over the years, he gave me that great piece of advice. He said, Steph, if you want to become an expert fighter, you want to become a master fighter, he didn't say that. He said, you want to become an expert, you want to become the black belt, you have to concentrate on the basics. You have to master those fundamental principles, those fundamental techniques. You got to get the fundamentals into place. If you don't get the fundamentals into place, you're never going to be any good. That's just about it. Same thing with software development. Being a great developer has little to do with knowing a whole bunch of different frameworks or knowing 5 different languages. Really, what makes a master developer is somebody who has a deep understanding of software development, of programming. So it starts with the languages, and then it moves out from there into things like app design, workflows in your software development process. This is what's going to make you very successful and very productive, whether you end up getting a job working for somebody, or whether you decide to do your own independent freelance work, set up a studio where you have people working for you, or maybe create your own software, create your own app. This opinion that I'm giving you here is not based on vlogs that I read, or books that I read, or videos that I've seen. This is based on my experience of being involved in software since the 1990s and having developed several apps. This is something I've seen over and over and over again with my own development, where whenever I would run into problems, there's a jet overset. Shut up. Whenever I would run into problems, sounds like it's crashing. Whenever I would run into problems with software, ultimately, it would come down to the fact there was a hole, there was a gap in some basic knowledge. That's why in my courses, whether it be my recently, soon to be released Python course, or whether it be on JavaScript or PHP, whatever, I always concentrate on the basics. Even something as simple as HTML. In my beginner's HTML course, where I teach HTML5, I teach the request response cycle. I help the students understand how the server and the client model works, how the web browser renders the code, these sorts of things you don't ever see in other courses, which is silly, because when you understand HTTP, as an example, when you understand how that really operates, the whole cycle, it's going to improve your abilities as a web developer tremendously. And that's just one example. Same thing with the Python course recently. Now, when you're developing a course, you have so many different tangents you can go down. You can introduce different modules that are built into Python, which are basically just packages of code. You can jump down into different specializations, whether it be machine learning or animation or web app development or data processing. What I do, though, is I concentrate on the basics, because, again, it's so important. That's why I teach the basics. And to be honest with you, it's a lot easier to develop a course where you're just walking through the steps. Okay, now you do this, and you do this, and you do this. You see that all the time. That's easy to produce as a course maker. The hard part about building a course is building a course where you go over these key fundamentals, and they have to be presented in the right order. Otherwise, it's not going to work. This is something you can learn if you're ever pitching a product as an entrepreneur, whether you're presenting an app or a website that you're developing for a client, you have to be careful to present the elements of your app, the elements of the site in the proper order so that your client could understand exactly what it is that you are doing. Anyway, if you've been watching my vlogs, you can see there's a common thread in everything I do. I'm always looking for these universal principles that are consistent across any discipline, whether entrepreneurial type of activities, whether it be, my phone's dipping here. Sorry, my phone is about to fall down. So whether you're doing entrepreneur work, you're running your business, or you're setting up your business, you're negotiating a deal, whether you're presenting a project as a freelancer, whether you're bidding on a project, whether you're learning software, whether you're deepening your skills, whether you're doing martial arts, a lot of these fundamental principles that I keep coming back to really do help a lot. And if you learn to embrace them and really understand them on a deep level, you're going to see it's going to help you so much in your career, in your life, and so on. It even applies to dating, and you know what? I'll have to address that in another video vlog. Another principle is you never let anything control you. Now, the closest I have to something controlling me is coffee. But if you find yourself in a situation where you need something before you can operate, then you got a problem, you gotta pull back, and you gotta break that. So whether it's coffee, relationships, or whether it's food or anything else, if something is controlling you, compelling you, and it's very hard to deal with, you have to take steps to mitigate that. You don't want to have your primal impulses. You don't want addictions of any type to control you, because that could lead to all kinds of problems. All right, that's it. Cheers.